hill. And so it was when Moses held up his hand. This is verse 11. He held up his hand. It started from verse 10. Okay, I started from verse 10. Exodus 17, verse 10 and 11. And so 11 says, and so it was when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek, prevailed. Holding your hand, bring victory to a whole country. What does that mean? God can do whatever he has to do. He can bring victory to them. It wasn't necessary for Moses to raise his hand. But that is what the story is saying. That when Moses keep his hand up, he's an old man. Why will God punish this old man, keeping him into the state of him? It's like God is glorifying him. God wants the people to respect Moses, or to sort of think that Moses is great. Yet still he ended up punishing Moses and saying that you take my glory, you took it to yourself. Instead of giving the glory to where it belongs, you took it for yourself. And he says you will not see Canaan any longer for what you have done. And so, what really is man, the effort, the wrong that man is doing so much? What is really the matter what has man done so wrong that his own creator will have to frustrate him all the rest of his life? Was that the intentions of the creation? That I will create something that I will frustrate, I will have fun with. It's like a game. My pain and my worries and my sufferings is a game to God. Should I believe that? Should I think that? Some suggestions in the book also can pull out and say, no, God is not a joke. God is not a respecter of person. God is not like choosy, discriminated. God is not going to put you through worries. But it tells you that God is going to put you to frustration if you do not do that. Then you tell you that it is suggesting to me then that whatever I have to do, God is not in control. I am in control of myself. Yet I still claim that he created me and he has power over me and he controls me and he tells me what to do and he orders my feet. He orders my footsteps. I don't know which is which here. If we go on from Exodus all the way through after the 10 Commandments, the Exodus 20, after the 10 Commandments, we move on to 21. We are here. There's another point here. God, it says the treatment of servants. How servants should be treated. God condones and encourages the idea that some human being must purchase another human being or own another human being as his own property. And he gives you guidelines of how to do it or what to do. Here it says, now there are the judgments which you shall sit before them. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he shall serve 6 years, and in the 7th he shall go out free and pay nothing. If he comes in by himself, he shall go out himself. If he comes in married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master has given him a wife, and she has borne him sons and daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. It goes on and on. That is Exodus 21. God is guiding the people. Those people who what special they were, I don't know how special they are. Those people here, how to what? Have servants and use the servants, another human being, that even if he gives you a wife, if your master gave you the wife when he bought you, he gave you a wife. If you are going, if he frees you and you go, you don't have to touch them. The what do you call it? The wife and the children, they become the masters. It's like you getting a goat or a cow, and that cow breed, have children. The children, they are all yours, because you sort of gave you are like the shepherd. The master is like the shepherd. So the animal, the servant is like an animal, because as long as he bought you, you are like an animal, just like the slave trade. How slaves were treated, how people of my relatives and my ancestors, some my ancestors and my relatives were treated, by another human being. something similar to that. But the book here is encouraging that. The book gives you the rules of how to do it. Today, if you are upset, who are you going to be upset with? Who gave the advice? If you check these countries, colonial countries, they were Christian countries. They were Christian countries. If the businessmen who took it upon themselves to do it were not even Christians and spiritually filled, they believed that this is what they accepted, the religion they accept for themselves. They grew up with it, they understood it. Even if they didn't know, they have counseling from pastors, from people who were religious, religiously, in tune to these works. And they have generated such a spirit that guides their life. If you read on, it tells you that the Israel nation, God has an angel. He appointed an angel to be the leader of the nation, to guide the nation. So what if the whole nation, the nation, and the spirit that he believes in, the God that he believes in, appoints an angel to guide you? So that angel will definitely guide you through the things that is written in the documents that you are meant to sort of get yourself abreast with. And some of things like this is there. The angel already knows this thing. So he practically lead you. Maybe there is a spirit that led them to Africa, or led them to India, or led them to wherever place, in order to control those people and adapt them as slaves. And they probably will not be in tune spiritually or being guided, but they were guided spiritually to get there to do it. And that's how they won the wars and to enslave people. The Jewish people believe, the Israelis believe that at some point God gave them written words to tell them that some people will come and they will serve them. And some point they say prophecies tell them that they will go to Egypt and they will serve them. So it is all according to the advice that we get. That is what makes us decide on what to do and how we should behave. So right now there are people who have animosity and hatred towards the colonial masters. The colonial masters also have to do everything in their power to always keep themselves protected. And also at the same time try to reconciliate at the same time, because it's a new generation. And most of them probably will disagree about some of the actions of the past, but they also accept the fact that there was benefit that has come out of it, and they are enjoying, they are the state of receiving, they are the receiving end. And they can't just put it aside, because it does matter. I mean, if you make yourself vulnerable, that person that you are frustrated, that you have given bad image, there are people who live forever, never forgetting. The anger inside them, whether it is a spiritual anger from the ancestors, I don't know. And they can't let go. And so when they also get you and you are in a situation where they can crush you or pay back, they will do that. So the colonial masters will also do everything in their power to always keep themselves protected. And at the same time try to be, when they are being confronted at such issues, try to be so sympathetic and do everything to be nice and sort of try to act as if there's some sort of reconciliation going on. Over the years, it will wear off. That's the belief. That's what. And sometimes it works out. It's working out gradually. We are all here, aren't we? So definitely this caused an anger. There is certain that this is the advice that generated today's anger and aggressive. What do you call it? The unpeaceful approach to life today among the society, which is between the slave and the master, or let's say black or white, or let's say white to white, or black to black. It's all advices that has come from somewhere. So I'm suggesting by using it to point you to some of the things. In the Islamic world, it might have different suggestions, but in the same line, they also have those advices that has kept them to do what they have to do and the actions they take. And later on, the results will keep coming up. So the old times, what happened is what is hitting us today. So at the end of the day, the beginning of peace, we have to tackle this. And let's see where the problem came from, how it all happened. Because this advice here by Jehovah encouraging such thing to go on, a long time ago, they have got the advice. They hold us, okay, if we travel and go there, then it's in our own God's Jehovah's heart. It's okay. God Jehovah accepts us to do that. He's not against it, And they wouldn't feel bad if they start treating people like animals. And so they did that. They did that with a free heart, a free conscience at that time. They passed and gone. It took a long time and a hard struggle to change these things, to make laws that will sort of stop to bring out the abolition of it. It wasn't easy. It became